What's up, Guardians? Profane here. Thanks for checking out the video. Today we will be taking a look at this week's Grandmaster Nightfall, the Devil's Lair, and I'll be going over some tips, tricks, and glitchy workarounds so that you can easily farm for Ascendant shards and adept versions of the Uzume RR4 sniper rifle and the Plug 11 fusion rifle. Before we begin, if you enjoy the video and find it helpful, be sure to help support the channel by hitting the like button below along with the subscribe button if you're new. Now, while the Devil's Lair isn't the most grueling of the Grandmasters, it can still be quite a task to complete. But by using these workarounds we go over today, you should be able to make quick work out of the Devil's Lair. And to start, as you enter into the strike, you want to immediately rush to the far left of the map. This way you can avoid incoming fire from Hive and Fallen forces. I can't express how important it is to do this so that you don't lose any lives here at the beginning. Going to the far left allows you to sneak by a lot of the enemies at the opening until you reach the Overload Champion, which you can stun and then jump back behind him behind the cargo boxes, using them as cover while you take him down. The next few sections of the strike will play out pretty standard. As you would do in other Grandmasters, you'll just want to keep distance and watch out for those snipers. Once Ghost is able to begin the hack, you'll be faced off against 3 waves of enemies in this large open area. For the best chance at staying alive, you want to make your way back to the very back of the caved in tunnel. You can use the derailed trains here to hide behind while clearing out the adds, since none of the adds will actually push into this area. You want to beware of stragglers though that will scatter themselves on the other side of the map. So before you assume that all of the adds are cleared, do a discount double check just to be sure. The most difficult portion of this Grandmaster is up next. A wide open courtyard with swarms of enemies everywhere. 2 big boys and a fallen spider. Oh, and a ton of champions. This is where you'll see a lot of teams lose a lot of lives, and it's largely due to the snipers and homing rockets from the big boys and spider. The best way to make it through this area without losing a ton of lives will be to take out the group of enemies that are stationed in the building directly ahead of you first. Use the broken windows and doorway for cover, and avoid those snipers. There will be a group of Vandal snipers that will be directly ahead of you. You'll want to make sure that you clear these out before you move out of the building, before you leave that cover. Now from here you want to turn your attention to the group of adds in the building to the far left. If you clear these guys out first, you'll have a nice open area with plenty of cover in the back left to be able to take out one of the big boys along with a few champions and adds. Once you've cleared out everything on the far left, you want to make your way back to the entrance area and then along the far right wall. There will be another big boy, champion, and adds in the middle of the area, but once this group has been cleared out, continue along the right side wall. You can actually hunker down in the building rubble adjacent to the spider and the field of adds. You can remain in this area with adds not being able to get to you because it's essentially kind of out of the map area. You can use this to avoid a lot of the heavy fire, including the spider's rocket blasts, and while taking shelter in the area, like I've aforementioned, you won't have to worry about any of the adds actually pushing up to you. You'll just want to watch out for the rocket blasts and move out of their way. And now that leads us to the final boss battle. And since the servitor can't be one-phased, you'll be forced to scave off waves of adds the entire time. By using the small room to the left as you first enter, you can use the broken windows and doorway to shoot through while having the safety of cover from all of the adds. But this doesn't mean that they won't rush in. Adds can move in both from the top floor or bottom floor, and while you can use this to your advantage, so can they. So keep an eye out for adds on both floors. If things get dicey, you can jump behind the boxes into a small cubby where enemies can't get to you, or you can flee down the steps or up the steps if being rushed by adds, making the steps one of the best places to remain during this encounter. Using the bottom floor can be extremely beneficial as you can avoid the boss's void blasts during DPS. If attempting DPS from the top floor, keep in mind that during DPS, adds will spawn in, leaving you vulnerable, which is where having a bubble or well will come in handy, as would a tether or stasis turret. And there you have it, Guardians. That concludes all of the tips, tricks, and glitches that I've got for you to help with this week's Grandmaster, the Devil's Lair. If you've got any additional tips for your fellow Guardians, feel free to add them in the comments below, and let me know how your runs are going this week. I hope you've enjoyed the video and found it helpful. If so, be sure to help support the channel by hitting the like button below, along with the subscribe button if you're new. Both are greatly appreciated, and until next time, Guardians, this has been Profane, wishing you some happy hunting.